Okay, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I've got a crazy stream for you today. We're going to be talking about, and yes, I am back on the island. I'm back in the studio here, so let me know that everything's working okay. First time setting everything up in a while here. So we're going to talk about some crazy stuff today. I'm going to tell you first about, so I flew back from the US last night to the UK, and genuinely, I was wondering if I was going to get arrested or something like that when I landed in London for all these new online speech things that you can and can't say. And obviously, being a what do people call me now? They say I'm a political kind of person or whatever all these new terms are that keep coming out all the time. And a political commentator, I think a lot of people refer to me as. And when you're critical, yes, you can be positive about things. You can also be critical about things. Um, Sometimes certain organizations or politicians or governments don't like that. So we're going to talk about this warning that's been put out by the American Center for Law and Justice. This is all about Americans landing in the UK, also extradition laws over what is being considered hate speech in the UK. But I want to tell you, let's get started with what actually happened then. So I was on the flight, and before I got on the flight, I was on my phone reading some news articles, and I was reading about this new law that's just come in. So it's called Clause 18. We'll get onto all the legalities later for those of you who want to know all the legal bits. But it's called Clause 18, and this is around employment rights bill. And this is absolutely crazy. I'm going to give you the examples of this as we go through. So I was reading that on my phone, and all, the hate law, hate speech, and all this other stuff, an offense. Whereas if you cause offense to someone, that you can be now prosecuted or arrested, even though they're nothing to do with the conversation. Someone could have just overheard you. It is madness. So I was reading this on my phone, and I was going through the movies on the flight and having a look what there was, and there was one, V for Vendetta. I haven't seen that movie in a long time, V for Vendetta, and I thought, why not? Let's watch that. I couldn't exactly remember what it was about. I knew it was about sort of lack of free speech in the UK, but I couldn't remember because I watched it when it first came out. So after just reading this article and then watching this movie, which was about Britain as a fascist state, although we don't have a fascist state now, I actually went on to ChatGPT and I said, can you describe what the UK is as seen by other countries? I want to read out what it said. It said then, the UK isn't a fascist state, but it's being, and the reason why is because it's usually ruled by a dictator, the power's with the state and the power isn't with the people, etc. It said the UK isn't this, but it's being described as a progressive authoritarianism state now, or country, by other countries around the world. So let me read this out there. It says, the UK now exhibits many traits of what is being called progressive authoritarianism or global censorship. A number of memos have been put out by legal groups all around the world giving warnings to their citizens. So I downloaded one of them here. And the reason why, it says the government is actually on the left, the Labour government, and it enforces these policies through restrictions on speech of citizens, selective policing, and favoritism towards non-citizens. This is what ChatGPT said. I didn't even put any prompts into it. This is what it came out with. It then asked me, what do you think of this? I said, yeah, that's pretty accurate. And then it told me a load more things and all the legal things that are going on. And it was just mind-blowing. Some of this stuff I didn't even know. I had no idea. I knew people are in prison over social media posts, but I didn't know the extent of this. And that even all these prison places that they remember they released all the prisoners from prison, so many of them. I can't remember how many it was now, but they released all these prisoners. They've already filled all these spaces again. It's insane, and I don't even think they're giving us the accurate stats on some of these prison places. So there's so many people that have been put in prison now as well over social media posts. So let me ask you a question then. If you're a sports person, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, do you think you could be arrested for, like a chant or singing your sports team song or something like that? And you might say, no, of course not. Well, actually, according to this new bill, there's a very high chance that you could be. It says you can even be sentenced to prison for these posts. And then there's a lot of other examples. There's a teacher in Ireland. What's his name? Something like Enoch Birch or something like that. You can put it in the details. This guy, in and out of prison non-stop for something which is related to this. He won't use pronouns in a school. So he's been arrested. He's back in prison because he's breached the court order by going back to school to teach and all this. It's like crazy, all the stuff that's going on here. It is really madness. I wanted to tell you what this clause 18 is, and then we'll go through the rest of the stuff. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, now would be a great time to subscribe here. We've got a good amount of subscribers, and also the newsletter as well. You can join my newsletter, which you'll find below. Okay, so this is clause 18 then. Clause 18 of the Employment Rights Bill makes businesses, this is the sneaky thing they've done here, the government, liable for third-party non-sexual harassment. This means an employee, and then we'll link it to pubs and sports events and everything like this after. An employee can sue if they overhear something they find offensive, even if it wasn't directed at them. And now the amount of lawsuits are expected from this is astronomical. There's all these legal firms that are going to be setting up to profit from all of this as well. This is huge. Some of the impacts of this, it means that football fans, for example, friends or people at the pub could be prosecuted. Pubs may have to police their own customers. Football clubs are looking to ban, some clubs are looking to ban songs, chants, and anthems. If this isn't going towards that kind of state, I don't know what is. We've got some examples as well here, and this is a good one. So someone wearing a Trump MAGA hat or a Trump shirt, this could be considered offensive in London. Where they get these examples from, I don't know. You know, they're trying to say that no one in London likes Donald Trump. Yeah, of course, of course. I think there's some people that don't, for sure, but the stuff they come out with is crazy. So here's an example. There's a group of friends in a pub discussing political issues, including illegal migration. So this is an example here, which is a crime, right? Obviously. But it says if one person expresses concerns about government policies in a way that a nearby listener finds offensive, then the offended party should report the conversation to the pub owner, who will then have liability. Again, here's the secret to all of this. The government has done this. The pub owner is then encouraged to call the police. The speaker could be arrested for alleged harassment and a possible hate crime against minorities. Sorry, please drop a comment below. Do you see how mad? This is all real. This is so crazy. And then it's talking about bar jokes, men who make bar jokes, stereotypes. It says, again, people can, if they overhear your bar joke, they can also report you to the police. If a customer is frustrated with slow service and makes a remark such as, oh, this generation today, that employee can also report them to the manager. And it says the manager is encouraged to report this to the police as a non-hate crime. Ladies and gents, this is the most ridiculous thing that you will ever hear. And you're going to see more pub closures. It just fell to below 39,000 actually for the first time ever. This was last year, 2024. And there's also a number of groups that want to ban pubs as well. I've been following this story. There's this thing, it's supposed to be coming up in the House of Commons. I don't think it will ever get there. There's a group who don't drink. They want to ban pubs. They want to ban all this other stuff. It's just leave people alone. You know, you do you, other people can do them. Madness. And then the cost of this as well is estimated to be £33 million just for businesses to familiarise with it. Some of the ranges go up to £2.5 billion as well. Employment tribunals is the other one. This increased by 26% last year off the back of some of the new policies that are coming in. The FSB, which is the Federation for Small Businesses as well, I was a part of this, a member of this years and years and years ago. And I remember calling them once because I had a HR sort of question challenge. So I can't imagine what it's like today. They said that they received 12,000 calls in the past quarter in relation to all of these new measures. 12,000 calls. Can you imagine this? But I want to go on to the US thing, and we'll jump back into this in a second. So this is from the American Center for Law and Justice, and I've got the memorandum here, so you can actually find it here. You just do a search for it. It's the memorandum, and I'll describe what it is here. But it's UK Speech Laws Memo. Okay, so that's what it is. Now let's go over all of this then. Let's go over this. Okay, so I've highlighted the key points for you, and this will apply to other countries as well. So this memo examines potential legal actions the UK could take against American citizens for exercising their right to free speech online or in person. It's followed by an overview of various hate speech laws in the UK and how the European and UK courts would assess such laws. In short, the UK has tools of international law available that can be used to try to extradite American citizens for their speech and how it's affecting the UK. So the key thing here from a legal perspective is how it's affecting the UK, and we'll get into it. It jumps around a little bit, but the key point is, if you are in America and you type something or you say something or whatever, social media, and that is directed to someone in the UK, when you land in the UK, it says they could try to extradite you. It's not going to happen under this presidency anyway, so don't worry. But it says that they could try to extradite you, or if you fly to the UK and you land in the UK, your passport would be flagged right away. So this is another thing. It said that Americans need to be aware of these possibilities, and that you need to monitor your conduct when you're in the UK, and definitely don't make any posts when you're in the UK on your social media that could be deemed offensive, because you will be arrested. This is what this memorandum is saying. And then they give examples. The Metropolitan Police Commissioner, Sir Mark Rowley, he said they'll throw the full force of the law at people, whether you're in this country or you're doing it online. So again, this applies to anyone outside the UK. They've also still got Elon Musk on this list. There's no way he's going to be extradited, but they still want to charge him or have a court case on him, which is basically the same thing, over his comments about the riots that took place. The Prime Minister has also said, I guarantee that you will regret in taking part in any online hate speech. People will be prosecuted. A US congressman has sent a letter to the UK. No response has been provided. So could Americans visiting the UK be arrested for their online speech? And the answer is yes, absolutely. It says, I mean, it's very clear. It says, yes, you could be. So be very, very careful. Could a UK citizen be extradited? And it says, yes, it's possible to do, because there's a treaty, there's an extradition treaty between the United States and the UK. It says the conduct must be a felony under the laws of both country, though, for the extradite treaty to come into effect. So actually, even though they're saying yes, you could be, I think what they actually, I understand what they're saying there. I think maybe if you were to come to the UK and you said something and you typed it, and then you left the country and they found out afterwards, maybe that's it. But again, that's never going to happen with under Trump. I just can't ever see that happening. So they're talking specifically about the UK's Online Safety Act of 2023. They say this is when it all changed, and it's a violation. It's still a violation of this act if you conduct these crimes outside the United Kingdom. And they said even if you're not resident in the United Kingdom. There's also another one, though, that they're using, which is not fit for purpose. This is the 1986 Public Order Act. And they're also saying that this could be used to get around some of these other cases as well. So this is just mind-blowing. If you want to read this, it's worth reading. But there's all these different, there's Human Rights Act of 1998, the Communications Act of 2023, Racial and Religious Hatred Act of 2006, and then the Online Safety Act of 2023. So there's a lot going on here that they are going to be using. So just be really, really careful. I think the whole thing is bonkers. And a lot of people have come out against this. So the backlash has been huge. The EHRC has warned MPs, members of parliament, about it. The Regulatory Policy Committee has criticised the bill for lacking any evidence whatsoever that this is needed. 8 out of the 23 measures, they say, are not fit for purpose and very dangerous. They say that this is going to cost £2.8 billion over the next decade. The Institute of Economic Affairs has also expressed concerns. A number of legal advisory firms have also expressed their concerns over freedom of speech. They say that it's too broad and it's not specific enough, and that people could be arrested purely for their opinion or maybe their religious view, which is different to other people's view of the world. And they said that, you know, if they start bringing in religious views, especially against Christians, that's the key point, is Christians. They're saying that this could also be very, very, very restrictive. The Confederation of Business Industry said this bill is highly damaging and it will deter investment and job creation. So this was the government's response. You're not going to be surprised by this. Okay, here we go. This is their response. Labour are fully defending it by saying Clause 18 is a necessary measure to protect workers from harassment by third parties, such as customers in a shop or clients. They say that extending employer liability, this is the key one that they're catching, because they know no one would ever enforce this. No business would ever enforce it. The only way they can get them to enforce it is, again, with a financial penalty. And they say it will make the workplaces more efficient and healthy. It won't. It won't make them more efficient and healthy. It's going to make these workplaces a lot more fearful. They also claim that it's going to help the economy because workers' rights lead to better economic outcomes, such as higher productivity and lower staff turnover. Yeah, but look what's going on here. They're taking this broad perspective based on logic and common sense, and they're applying it to something that's got no logic and no common sense. So what you're doing is you're taking the rights away from the masses, and you're giving them to this very fringe group who are offended by anything. And actually, I've met a lot. Whenever I meet these people who are offended by the most tiny thing, my gut instinct always says there's something not quite right with these people. Either I think they've got poor mental health, or if I'm speaking with them, they're all over the place, they're erratic, like they're on a substance or something. There's just something not... Drop a comment if you agree or disagree with me. But this is what I'm noticing. The people who get offended by the tiniest little thing and they just have a meltdown, they don't seem to be very mentally stable. So you're taking this new law and giving this... You're giving authority over the way they feel, that something really small is offensive to them, and now they're justified and they can call the police. It's madness, ladies and gentlemen. But Labour MP Andy MacDonald believes the bill doesn't go far enough. He thinks that we need even more. And if you think you're alone here, Germany has got something as well. This is NetDG. Canada's Bill 36 is coming out. This is all coming down the line very, very quickly, ladies and gents. I hope you enjoyed the stream today. Please subscribe if you're not already. Hold on, we got a subscribe button here. There it is. There it is. Make sure you subscribe, but definitely leave a comment and share this with anyone you think would be interested, because I think it's absolutely crazy. Thank you so much for being online. Take care. God bless you, and I'll see you on the next video.